All right, everybody. Let me just fire off this invite to Mr. Bobby, and then we will get moving. Let me text him as well. Just one sec. I just wanted to make sure I have this golf thing taken care of before we can get into only 10%. Okay. What's going on, guys? Oh, you did, Jamie? Nice. Oh, awesome. I'm still waiting on Bobby. I don't want to get started until he gets here. Yeah, I played $35 worth of entries in soccer, and I cashed a 47 on FanDuel. I put in 8 entries over there. One of them, check this out, was 55th out of 3,100 over there. That's pretty good. Okay. So there's obviously there's still a at least to me, a big amount of news that is waiting to break or waiting to not break. I have my Discords open. It says, okay, so lineup alert: Dean Wade will start in place of Lauri Markkanen on Wednesday. So where it looked as though Chetty Osman was going to be kind of a lock play. I need to rerun things in a few minutes to see if maybe D Wade is the deal. But it did come out that Dean Wade will start in place of Lauri Markkanen. Okay. Let me see a couple of more news breakers. Yeah, I didn't even have, like, for example, Dean Wade even, I think, projected. No, I did actually. I did have him as a play, but I only had him at like 15 fantasy points. If he's going to start, he's just going to be. Well, we're going to see. I'm going to do another run, maybe in about 20 minutes, because we have time to wait for more news to break. So I guess we could start by just, at least based on the news that I have here right now. This is my, oh, there he is. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, how's it going?
So, Bobby, what I was going to, wait, what is this?
Yeah, Dean Wade is starting.
Hold on, I got to. Hold on, I want to mute myself for a second. Hold on.
What's happening here? I don't understand what's happening. So, guys, I'll just keep talking. So with Dean Wade starting, you're going to get a lot less people on Chetty Osman, and there's going to be a reason for it. It's a little bit concerning. I would like to get my numbers updated before we get into that one, and that's where I'm at right now. I don't know what's happening with Sheets right now, so I'm trying to find this right now on our channel and see if I can get any questions that are going on in there, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Obviously, there's a lot of question marks still to play, and I'll get into my plays and stuff, but happy to answer any questions along the way, because I'll be here probably just till 6:30 Eastern. What's up, K9 Bronco? What's up, Jamie? Yeah, Beasley absolutely on FanDuel. Beasley, I would absolutely play Beasley on both sides. And let's make some money today. So basically, the spend ups are, I think, where you try and get into problems, and then you've got the issue of which value you want to use and all that stuff, and it's a little bit tricky. So I'm going to have to get less Chetty Osman, because right now I've got him on FanDuel like everywhere, and I have him on DraftKings quite a bit. But I think we don't need to necessarily feel as in love with it with the Dean Wade starting news as we did before. I'm just making sure who the actual starting lineup is, because I don't have the full starting lineup. I just saw the note that Dean Wade is starting, so I'd like to know who else is officially starting. It should just be the obvious guys: Mobley, Allen, Garland, Sexton. But it's
okay. I'm back. Sorry.
No, it's all right. So,
well, I was going over the news that just came in that Dean Wade is going to be starting.
Yeah.
Does that mean that Chetty Osman's not starting?
Yes.
All right. So I'm gonna have to redo everything then.
Yes, I'm gonna have to redo everything, but I'm gonna be out of here in 24 minutes.
Oh, you're leaving at 6:30? Okay.
I just got to do it on big slates. It's too much stuff for me to dig into and just throw money away on. But
so I want to tell you something I threw money away on. Just you guys get your opinion on this. I actually did a prize picks. I did 2 props. I actually did 3. But the 2 they got to be the biggest sucker plays in the world. I can't imagine this losing. Well, actually, I can imagine it. So I have. What do you think the over/under is without looking? Over/under. James Harden 3-point baskets made tonight.
Somewhere between 2.5 and 3.5.
Yeah. So I got over 2.5.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Yeah. I mean, why not? I think you're going to win more often than you won't with that. Although I would say this season, I don't know if that's necessarily been the case.
Yeah.
The fact that you can't beat anybody off the dribble is coming back to hurt him a little bit.
What do you think is a good over/under for 3-point baskets for Lonzo Ball tonight?
2.5 to 3.5.
Yeah, I don't know. I got suckered in. I kept under 2.5 for Lonzo Ball.
Well, I think that's a bet you're going to lose. I think that Lonzo is. I think the Harden one's an easy bet. I think Lonzo is. Let me just check this year. I actually don't think that they're that far off. I think there's. I think that anybody, and I've said this forever. People are just wrong to think that Lonzo's a bad shooter. Lonzo's he hasn't taken less than 6 threes in a game this season. And in those games, he's made more often than that, 4, 5, 3. So most of his shooting, almost all of his shots are coming from 3-point range. So it's just going to be, you're going to have to hope he misses.
Okay. All right. Well, we learned.
I mean, it doesn't mean it's a bad play. It's just, I don't think it's a good. I would have gone over if I had to bet on that one.
Okay. I just couldn't imagine that there was a world where Harden made less threes than Lonzo Ball. I guess that's why it was a sucker bet.
Well, no, but I mean, it's just we can't go on the entire history of these guys' reputations. The Lonzo thing is a complete nonsensical thing. This guy on huge volume last year, down the stretch, I think he probably took more threes or as many threes.
No, I was just more interested in the idea that they were going to, if people were taking threes on that team, would be like Zach LaVine and not Lonzo Ball. But I guess I'm wrong. I guess he's been taking them.
Buster Posey just retired. Okay.
Lonzo has become the 3-point shooter, Timothy. Yeah. So you know what? So we lost. Or we made a bad bet.
No,
wouldn't be the first bad bet that won for me also. So let's see what happens.
For sure. I mean, this is a really tough slate, and the truth is, we don't know a lot of things yet, and we need Cleveland to sort of recalibrate.
John Collins is a game time decision. Bogdan Bogdanovic available to play.
I think, yeah, I didn't even know.
That's not good for John Collins then. If they're going to announce these things and one guy's going to be announced available and the other guy a game time decision.
it could be a legit game time. It's an important game for. I mean, it's more important to them probably. Like they still have this sending a message to Brooklyn thing. Sometimes the guys will hold out their other guys. I don't know what they're going to do. The question about Eubanks being a lock, absolutely nobody's a lock on this slate. Let me just make that really, really, really clear. And definitely not a guy who takes up a center spot. And definitely not a guy who we may not know if he's starting until after lock. And you said if he's starting. Now, I think he's a good play. He's a good fantasy point per minute guy. Not a matchup where they're going to need a big man, really. They could easily play Thad Young as a center. They could easily play big body Keldon Johnson as a center. So there is no reason we have to just assume that they're going to play a traditional center. And even if they do, they don't need to play him more than 20 minutes. There's no centers on the other team. Dwight Powell is not a guy who anybody's ever going to try to match up with. So I would not personally put a whole bunch of weight. I have Eubanks in lineups, don't get me wrong, but I don't think that he's some absolute lock by any means, and I would not surprise me at all if he doesn't start tonight. And we also very well likely won't know that until after lock. So the value is speculative, but some of these guys are going to hit for sure. It's just impossible. I tend to like the Minnesota thing. I'm very interested in. I'm worried about this Osmond thing. I might have to just completely get rid of him. It's a high variance situation there for him. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But
you don't think that he's going to be good off the bench? Maybe getting 30 minutes off the bench? Not really.
Maybe. Well, I don't know why he would.
I thought I seem to remember that happening last year. No,
This has nothing to do with that last year, though. That's my only thing. Like we've got to break that way of thinking. Now he played really well against Phoenix and got all the run, but he made 6 threes in that game.
Right.
The next game he played 20 minutes. And we really got to get the old stuff out because they don't. Cleveland is a different team. I like Cleveland to win today, by the way, against Portland. They're a much better basketball team than I think people are giving them credit for.
What do you think of What do you think of Thad Young from San Antonio?
It depends on if he's starting or not. Same thing I just said. Eubanks. It's you're not going to know the answer to that one. So I think it's a good speculative play right now. I don't think there's any reason to assume that he won't get 10 minutes.
Are both of those guys plays dependent on them starting, is what you're saying?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that that's the only way it works out for them. But I wouldn't be playing them if they're not starting.
Well, that's what I mean. Okay.
I mean, I think you can get away with a little bit of it no matter what, but it just feels very fishy. Especially taking up the center spot. Like, I want to get creative and play a guy who's got value with some upside is Ken Burch. He's been out playing Achua, and he put up 28 the other day, played 31 minutes. He's 4K. He's a different guy to get different with. The values that I do find myself siding with a little bit more, and I do think if Eubanks does start, that he's a good play. But this is not a guy you have to play in cash games. Sure. CD Osman is no longer going to rate to be this great value, so it's going to leave guys like Beasley, Yang, who I think there's definitely a path for failure. We need to see who's starting in that game as well. That's a big one because Yang can come off the bench and play well like he did, yesterday or whatever it was. Day before was yesterday. I think Jordan McLaughlin is suspect. I think Davion Mitchell is suspect. I think Svi is suspect. But some of these guys are going to get there. That's what's difficult about it. Safer ones that I like a little bit better, Furkan Korkmaz, Steven Adams. I like Beasley because at least his route makes like a lot more sense to me, and he's like a kind of guy who he could break you if you don't have him. Like he could put up 40 plus fantasy points in this matchup. Right. So that's the way that I'm choosing to approach it. I really like Gary Trent at a little bit of a higher price, but not like a sure thing. I mean, these are just, Nicholas Batum, Terrence Mann. All of these guys are like, yeah, some of them are going to get there, but are we maybe better off either not guessing or guessing right? My personal approach right now is to try and guess right.
Yeah, I think that's probably wise.
Yeah. But you do have a nice group in the next tier with Steven Adams and Gary Trent. And, I mean, this is another cheap one who I'm not going to play, but I would just point out that it's crazy how Torrey Craig already broke a slate this year. 48
Yeah.
I'm not going to play him, but DeAndre Hunter, at least he'll get the minutes in a good pace environment. Norman Powell should get the minutes, and 4,600 is a very reasonable price. So maybe those as being as your pivots. The only problem is, like, I do think some of these guys are going to like 10x potentially. I would like to get some new runs on the Osman stuff before I make any final decisions, because I still think he might be viable at such a cheap price tag. It's just a question of do we really want to do that?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're getting Beasley starting, for example.
Yeah, no, we have no reason to think if Wade's starting that Cheaty's going to play more than 20 minutes. That's
right.
The issue that I have. And the points, I understand what you're saying, but they don't need a small forward out there. They've got Mobley, who already is a small forward / power forward / center. Yes, you could argue that Cheaty is now I would put him as a good, at best, large field tournament play. I do think Dean Wade is in play. It's not a fun play, but it's along the same lines as the Jordan McLaughlin play.
Why do you say that?
Because they're both not very high usage guys.
Okay.
Who are 3K, but Dean Wade will probably, when he started last year, he was playing like 30-ish minutes like all the time. I think you even won it or came close to winning a tournament with him in there. And it was like a suspect night too. And what's weird though is that no one seems to want to play the other guys on Cleveland against this awful defense.
Garland, and
I was thinking more Mobley and Jared Allen.
Ooh.
I mean, Jared Allen, you never know what you're going to get exactly, but guy just put up 56 2 days ago. He's 6,400. He's played well against other bigs. Against Jokic, he put up 45. He's it feels like a wild cardy play, but it should benefit him, and he actually should play more minutes tonight than his averages, which is usually right around 30 to 32. I think now you could see him playing closer to 36 minutes, much more likely. I'm just trying to get some updated projections here. This is
I know your RG. I think they just updated theirs.
Yeah, they're updating. They're in the middle of updating, so it's a little. Right. But there's other guys who are popping in and out. This Eubanks thing is, I'm telling you, like, you just be ready for the pivot. Like, I mean, mostly you're not probably playing all your guys in the first games anyway, but that's just a scary one. So I'll just say the guys who I am spending up on. It's going to be a combination of Embiid, Towns, Durant, Curry. I do still like what we came up with, the LaMelo and Kevin Durant thing. We got a question from K9 Bronco because he plays on FanDuel about the LaMelo versus Lillard. And I think that's an interesting thing you can do. I wish one of those got LaMelo, Curry, or Lillard with guard eligibility. The easy thing to do over there is just play Terry Rozier at way too cheap of a price tag. And I think that you're fine. I'm fine with that. But I have 65% Steph on FanDuel, and I've got 40% Steph on DraftKings. I like the Towns. I like the Clippers thing. I'm going to try and get some pieces of it that involve the other guys. I did also mention earlier that I really like this game style for Draymond, and that could take away from the Curry thing. So maybe what you do over there, instead of forcing LaMelo to play with Curry, although it's a great play, Curry's price, is maybe play the LaMelo lineup with Draymond Green. A lot of good guards on FanDuel. Patrick Beverly is in. Now I'm going to go with one of my most suspect reads on the season, and that's playing Patrick Beverly with this much value on the slate. If somehow he ends up starting, which is very possible, even if he doesn't, I really think that there's some merit to playing him, especially because I'm stacking that game a little bit. I like Reggie Jackson.
You're gonna have to drag him off the court.
Exactly, I know, right? Reggie Jackson, who can't seem to shoot better than 30% in a game this year, I still think he's completely viable here. What worries me about Reggie Jackson is the lack of assists total. It's really alarming, and he's not really rebounding either, which he did in the playoffs. So, but I do like Reggie Jackson as a run back in that game to get a little different as of right now. on DraftKings. On FanDuel, on FanDuel, it's more obvious. But all right, Rodriguez wants to know if all those guys are good for value. Yeah, those guys are all good for value, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to play all of them together.
You can't play them all.
Yeah, you just don't. At some point you can't do it. The Pat Bev thing is going to be weird. It feels so thin, but maybe it is too thin. Like, as I think about it, it seems so strange with all this value out there to play him. But he's part of that. I mean, McLaughlin doesn't do anything at all, and he's 3K. And if Pat Beverly was 3K, I think everybody would be talking about playing him.
I definitely agree with that.
He's 3.7, so the extra 700 is not getting me that much more because I have the stars rated really close. I'm worried about Luka tonight a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't have him quite as high as the other studs, but I already gone through all the reasons I'm afraid of.
Yeah, with the new runs here, and I'll just show you what I have. Chetty's just just kind of a play. I mean, he's like you said, he's like a more of a long shot. I think not a long shot, but he's
I think it is a long shot.
He's definitely worse, and I don't think I need to get to Wade either. By the way.
Yeah. You don't need to do it. Don't make yourself do it if you don't want to do it. Because
no,
I don't mean you. I mean just anybody out there.
The Eubanks, if he plays, if he starts, is going to be a tough fade, though. I think.
I really don't think it's that tough of a fade. But
if he starts, yeah.
How are you going to get news if he's starting? I mean, unless.
Well, you wait. I mean.
Well, but then so you're waiting with your whole lineups. You're not playing anybody from.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Early games.
Yeah, you just always play Isaiah Hartenstein later.
No, that's actually probably like that. I mean, if you're talking about a 1v1, that's the one that makes sense.
Or excuse me, what you play Dwight Powell from that game?
Dwight Powell, but But then you have to get a 2v2 and some other stuff going on.
Yeah,
I did throw Dean Wade into one of my lineups though.
We're still waiting on maybe among other things on John Collins. Yeah, I see a starting lineup.
I don't know if you're going to know about John Collins.
I see something with Beverly starting.
Let me just make sure that's official.
No, that's an RG projected one.
Okay. Oh, forget it then.
Okay.
Just ignore it. I mean, he totally could, but I don't know that they're going to start him.
Let me run just for.
I would start him. I don't. I mean, if I were them, I would start him.
Who PB Beverly?
Yeah. This is a great spot to start him.
Why not? Right?
Yeah.
He's getting motivated.
It does take away a little bit of my Reggie Jackson love. Because I don't love the idea of somebody getting up in Reggie Jackson's grill the whole game. He's got enough issues shooting the ball as it is. This year, can I just throw one crazy stat at you? Steph on non-contested threes is shooting 31% from three-point range. On highly contested threes, he's shooting 56%.
Of course.
I mean, come on, man. That's crazy. 31%. Westbrook shoots better than that from three.
The other thing you could do, by the way, if you want to play Eubanks, you could also pivot. I mean, if Eubanks doesn't start, it's probably because Thad Young's starting, right?
If Eubanks doesn't start, it's not necessarily.
No,
there's no reason they could leave their starting lineup the same and throw in basically anybody and play Keldon Johnson at the 5 against Dallas. Doesn't mean they will, just means they could. They do seem to like Eubanks for what it's worth. And he does produce pretty well fantasy point per minute. The reason why he's an easier fade than you think, is because I'm playing Towns and Embiid lineups. I'm playing Jokic some. I'm playing some Steven Adams. I'm playing some Capella if we don't have Collins. So you have all these other centers that even if Eubanks gets 30, if you get the centers right and they get 60 each, you can use that other value and it could supplant. It could outdo 20 from another position. Might be better than 30 from a center position today. How
much? I guess a better question. I was going to say how many lineups you're playing, but how much? So you're not a big fan of Jordan McLaughlin play.
Not if he's not starting.
What if he does start?
And then he's just a blah play.
Okay.
I would rate him and Dean Wade as fairly similar, except for point guard's a little bit stronger today, in my opinion.
I want to throw a couple randoms at you. You have any interest in Harrison Barnes?
No.
Okay.
Play Anunoby if you can get to Harrison Barnes. I would just try to find a way to get to Anunoby. Man, I got Anunoby at freaking 5% the other night in a smaller slate and a tougher matchup. And now he's going to be like 25% owned, they're saying. I don't know if that's right, though. I don't think it is. And also, you know who else is getting lost? We still don't know about Brandon Ingram. We may not know until later. But right. Joe Val maybe isn't getting lost. He's the other center, though, that would include why you may not need the Eubanks thing. Eubanks makes more sense for me on FanDuel if he's starting because he's 3,700 over there. And you can play him alongside Yang and do whatever you wanted to do elsewhere. I need to edit all of my FanDuel lineups because they all have Osman in them right now.
Oh, really?
If he was starting, I was going to commit to it and just say on FanDuel anyway. He's not in my anything but long shots on DraftKings.
All right, I want to edit some DraftKings lineups now based on. That's what I'm doing. I'm going through these, and based on some of the things that you're saying, I'm like Xing some people out. I'm just going much less on whatever's and just seeing how the lineups kind of change. Which is one thing that's kind of cool, by the way, if you guys use SaberSim, is it builds your lineups and it has them off on the right. And if you on one side like just X a player out, it automatically redoes all the lineups instantly without you having to screw around with it.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you the next bunch of lineups without that. You know what I mean? It just redoes everything, which is neat. Okay, so I'm still waiting on Collins. We're still waiting on New Orleans. Still waiting on, the Collins thing is soon. But then we're going to wait on New Orleans and wait on San Antonio starters.
Yep.
Plus the stuff that we don't know we're waiting.
What did you say started soon?
Doesn't Collins start? Did that game start soon?
7:30.
Yeah. Okay.
Not the first box. Slates, man, are crazy. But I would love some start. I would love it if you guys own part of this DraftKings and FanDuel. Let's make sure. Let's get the starting lineups out earlier. We can deal with some player scratches as they come up. But let's get the lineups out. Treat it like baseball. At least then in baseball, we're complaining because one team doesn't have a lineup out, not 20.
Right. I got to talk to my brother about this.
Yeah.
Got to get some wholesale changes going to the NBA. What's up? 7?
Curry. Draymond. And we don't know also about Porzingis.
Oh, that's right. What do you think of Anthony Edwards?
Big deal on FanDuel. I think he's a really good tournament play, but I don't feel like he's getting tournament type of. He's gonna play and jack up a bunch of shots, but he's not So I think he and Jaylen Brown are similar. I actually find myself playing Jaylen Brown and Tate, and not together, and Tatum on FanDuel. But maybe you could argue that that's a mistake and that Anthony Edwards is a better play. Actually, he is going to be lower owned a little bit than I thought on DraftKings. But on FanDuel, I guess he is going to be lower. I think that's
shouldn't I just be playing Fred VanVleet instead of Edwards?
Why?
He's not a better play?
Fred VanVleet, for a guy who everyone's seen, and I'm the Fred VanVleet guy. I'm always about, hey, let's play VanVleet. Let's get him in there. He's 8,500 is not the same as 7,500. And the last time he played in this matchup, in 34 minutes, he put up 27 fantasy points. I don't have any Fred VanVleet today at 8,500. I would rather play Joe Val. Fred VanVleet can always go off and make me, wrong on this, but I'm finding myself siding with the Trents and the Ananubis ahead of him on that side.
Okay.
But he's fine. He's fine.
Any
But
chance
everybody wants to play him and no one wants to play LaMelo. That feels wrong, right? In a great game environment for LaMelo. Plus, LaMelo's put up 52 and 57 in his last 2 games. I know he's been shooting hot, but I want a guy who, if he gets hot, is going to get me a million fantasy points.
LaMelo is, oh man, Harden is only point guard eligible now.
Yeah, it's fair actually.
I know, but I don't want fair. I want to be able to do it.
I know.
You still like Jaren Jackson Jr.?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out ways to get him in. I feel like this is a play that if it was because he keeps getting, I mean, literally, if the guy's issue is he's going to keep getting in foul trouble, I'll fade him at chalk and I'll play the hell out of him when he's not chalky. Like he could put up a 50, in this matchup. He really could. We had this exact matchup the other day, and Jaren Jackson Jr. was like 700% owned, and I think tonight he's going to be like 8% owned.
Gary Harris is ruled out.
Yep, saw that. It's another guy who's an interesting value play who, as you pointed out, is very good, and I agree with you, and that's Wagner. But I'm not going to play. I mean, he's not a super value. He's the same price as Jaren Jackson Jr. I'd rather play Jaren Jackson Jr., but Jaren Jackson Jr. is increasingly giving me less reasons, and everybody's going to say, hey, why would you say Jaren Jackson Jr.? I'm just like, I mean, the guy's in foul trouble every game. If he's not in foul trouble, it's a different story. And then even when he plays when he's in foul trouble, he's just not tenacious the same way. He stops being aggressive.
I'll build some fan duels, see what they look like. I'm just kind of screwing around here because again, we need
a lot of information.
We need, and specifically, see, there's a lot out of the San Antonio Dallas game by itself. We need starters for San Antonio. We need Kristoff news, right?
Yeah.
And then at 7:30, we need that. Before that, we need the what's his face? Collins. So let's talk more about this Cleveland thing that you were saying. So instead of playing like Dean Wade, you were saying about playing other guys. I have some Sexton in DraftKings. On FanDuel, do you like or on both sides? Do you like Evan Mobley? Because I know you were talking about him earlier.
I think that's a really good sneaky play, and that's why I was mentioning the other guys. I think that he's a good sneaky play. I think that Jared Allen's a good sneaky play. And if you say, hey, they're game logs, but they rarely crush in these things and all that stuff. Well, I mean, they did lose Markkanen, who's been pretty high usage when he's been there. And their minutes should be increased by at least a couple each. And they're already basically more than 5Xing or 5Xing-ish. Jared Allen has got a monster ceiling. He's just all over the place. You never know what side of him you're going to get. But this is the kind of matchup I'd want to play him in. I just can't use that many center spots. That's really more of the issue I'm running into. Draymond.
I like that tournament. That, by the way, that 150 or whatever the 150 is that what it is on FanDuel?
Which is the one?
The bigger one, that jumbo dunk thing.
Oh yeah,
I like that one.
Yeah, usually that's one I would have entered like 10 into, but today just felt like I was going to make
playing 3.
I was going to get so stressed if I did it. I'm playing 3 in there too. It's right about my time of year too, Shees. I need to start winning some of these because this is when I start. Yeah. This is usually when I go on my runs. Is November, December, January.
When's that? What's the Thanksgiving slate, right?
Thibault starting. Just better speaking more and more like Embiid. Thanksgiving. The day before Thanksgiving is. I'm telling you, there's very few times I'm gonna say I'm over. I've been a lock on that one. I have not missed on one day. Yep. My worst day was like a 10x.
I wouldn't play. By the way, I wouldn't play Thibault.
Damian Lee tonight over Wade. No, I don't think you should be. I mean, I don't think it should come down to that for you. They're also very different prices, aren't they? But I don't think I don't have anything that has Damian Lee as even a relevant play. No, not at 4K. I mean, I love Damian Lee, and I was the one who was sort of on this early in the year, getting like, hey, let's try and play him instead of everybody's playing these other guys. But he's getting minutes. I mean, the fact is he's 4,100, hasn't put up more than 26 fantasy points in the game this season, and there's nothing for it. In that game, he made 4 out of 7 threes, took his season high in shots. There's nothing about this game that spells like a Damian Lee game to me. But I mean, it could be an anybody game. Anybody can get hot. I actually like this. I like Draymond a lot. I'm trying to squeeze him in right now. I like even like Wiggins, but I don't think Damian Lee is that viable. I think there's just better plays. Like you need so much to go right for Lee to get there. You don't need that much right for Batum to get there. You don't need that much right for Niang to get there. You don't need that much right for the guys who are slightly higher, Powell and Trent to get there. And of course, Damian Lee could go out there and shoot lights out, make his first 5 threes, and then a great play. But I just don't think I would not be thinking of Lee like Wade and Lee, and they're not the same price. I can't think about them together. Maybe on FanDuel is what he's looking at. It must be. Let me see Damian Lee's price on FanDuel, unless he's minimum, and even then, I don't know that I want to play him.
You know who my highest owned player is on FanDuel right now? It is Mr. De'Aaron Fox, actually, right now.
What's his price?
70 something.
Yeah, I have 0 of them.
Yeah, well, that's it. I like it, man. It's good diversification of true DFS.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not the same. I mean, partly he's missing every shot, but so that I can always live with. I'll always happily play.
And it's not the same Kings either, like you're probably alluding to.
Yeah, because Halliburton's starting. Davion Mitchell's getting a ton of run.
Yeah.
I do think De'Aaron Fox is going to be really popular on FanDuel, so it makes sense at his price. But I'll take the Lillard.
Yeah, I'm gonna trim that.
You do have Lillard over there, right?
No. Yeah, I have one lineup with him.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's not enough.
No, I mean,
what if I reduce Fox to 60%? What would that look like? I'm gonna get more. This looks a little more responsible, actually.
I mean, Lillard's going to be a ton owned too, but if you're going to tell me the same ownership, basically, if the games are close, Lillard is going to always get you somewhere in the 40s. Even these other games, like, I mean, he has to really shoot terribly. But I mean, these games he's shooting like 25% where he's not getting there, and also they were 30-point games on each side of it. And if this game stays close, which I think it does, I like Cleveland to cover, by the way, and win, as I keep mentioning. I like Lillard a lot on FanDuel.
We gotta get what's his name back.
I'm out here to build my lineups. Unfortunately,
we gotta get what's his name back in here. The
Jack Henderson.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. You had him on like last year a little bit.
He's great. He's a great dude. I don't know if he plays anymore.
Well, I don't know either. I don't know.
Christian Rodriguez with a good question. Any Julius Randle? The answer for me currently is no, but probably should be yes. I like Julius Randle. I just like a lot of the spend ups tonight. Curry or Embiid for a spend up. I have a little more Embiid. No, that's not true. On FanDuel, I have basically the same of both. And on DraftKings, I have a little more Embiid than Curry, but right in the same thing. So I would weigh that as close to even. The one thing that you get an advantage of about playing Curry is that he's playing the later game. So not to say that anything's going to happen with him, but the more you can just procrastinate, the better off you seem to be these days.
Right. Let me check my Discord again.
All right, I gotta run, guys, because I gotta finish building these things. But good luck to everybody. I'll be in Discord and try to answer questions. Just direct them at me, and I'll.
Yeah, I'm here for a few. So I'm looking at Discord. You know what I'm doing now? Also, I'm also gonna update my FanDuel lineups. And what I do with FanDuel, not FanDuel, Yahoo. What I do with Yahoo is I kind of cheat. I use the DraftKings, my DraftKings projections into FanDuel.
I like that.
Yeah, so let's do that.
All right, good luck to everybody. I will talk to you guys soon.
And the other thing I think I might do is one more hockey run. Let me just see. Not this. Build Yahoo over here. I'll let you guys know what my I'll show you right here what my exposures look like in Yahoo. I'm not gonna play 100% of anybody, so if I'll manually tweak down here, I think. 80% cork Maz. I mean, that I'm fine with for some reason. See, some of these prices are amazing. Like you get DeAndre Hunter at literally the minimum cost. You know, so you do get some cool value over there from time to time. And actually, there's cool value there all the time, but you just don't people don't play it all that often. So let's go back into Yahoo then. Yahoo incoming. Edit lineups. I'm gonna check news in a minute. I'm just waiting for the John Collins bomb to drop in my eye. And it's not that big a deal, the John Collins thing. I mean, like, yeah, it makes Capella a better play. Makes everybody a little bit of a better play, but it's not as if, like, if you didn't know that Collins was out, you, like, cost yourself the slate. But let's see. Any more news here? Nothing more. Let's go back over here. Nothing on Thad. No, nothing yet. Oh, no, I like Thad. I really do. I like that a lot. Courier and Beef for spendable. I hate to say this. I just like them both. I do. I just like them both. Courier and Embiid. I would try to get to as much of both of them as possible. Eddie Julius Randle. I do like him as a play, but let me see if I actually got to him in my builds, because those are, you know, two different things. Randall, yeah, I did. I got like 15% of him. That's fair, right? I definitely think that's fair. So still waiting on Collins. While I'm waiting on Collins, let me see if I can. If there is another hockey run, I will update it. Just doesn't look like anything's changed though, because what happens to a weird time slot, it doesn't log until like 8:30, so you're probably not going to get any meaningful update until then. But just because we're waiting for stuff, I am gonna update it. And the more you update, the better, right? I have time for one more, I think, before I have to finish my lineups and split. Let's see. And again, guys, just so you know, if you're interested, even if you're not interested, I'm going to be putting up my video at some point tomorrow about the Breeders' Cup, which is racing Friday and Saturday, and you can bet that a lot of different places. And I don't want to toot my own horn, but you probably should listen to me. I mean, I'm going to definitely give you good values. I can't promise you anything's going to win, but this is from whence my nickname Sheets was created, from horse racing and thoroughbred racing handicapping, and this is literally the one of two, maybe 5 days out of the year where I can give out my selections without it affecting my own price. So I'm going because of the sheer amount of money that's in the pools for this thing. So I'm going to put that up there. And again, it's just going to be a video with it's not going to show you how to win or anything like that, like I try to do here. It's literally just going to be who I think you should bet on. You know, just going to cut right to it. Not going to give a lot of reasons or anything like that. I'm going to say, listen, in this race, this is probably going to be a good value. This is probably going to be a crappy value. You're probably supposed to do this. You're probably supposed to do that. The exact opposite of what I want to do with DFS. You know what I mean? Like in DFS, I want to hopefully teach you guys process and how to win. You know, without me giving you who I like. But with Breeders' Cup and the horse race, I'm just literally going to just tell you who I think you should be betting. And if you want to bet on it, cool. If you don't want to bet on it, it's cool too. And yeah, and that's going to go out at some point tomorrow. Let me, before I finish this update, let me see if I have any questions here. Can you play Beasley and Beverly together? Yes, absolutely. I think John Collins will start. There you go. All right, so that's good. John Collins will start, so we don't have to worry about that. All that seemingly remains would be the two things. Would be news out of San Antonio, which encompasses both the starting lineup announcements for the big people, and also from clarity whether Kristaps Porzingis is going to be playing. And as weird as it is, I don't know how much that news with respect to Kristaps is going to affect what I'm doing. I don't think I'm going to be playing Luka regardless, which just seems like just a hopeless decision. You know, like if in fact, you know, Kristaps is out, we're supposed to always consider playing Luka, even though his results have not been particularly promising. Still Luka for, as I say, for Pete's sake. Let me finish up the hockey, and I'll check one more time for news. Get more San Antonio. Check one more time for questions. One more, actually two more hockey models to upload, and we'll run that thing, and then I really hope I don't have to do anything funny. I really hope Eubanks starts, because right now my current builds and runs are based on Eubanks starting, and if he doesn't start, I'm going to have to go change everything. It's going to be a little bit annoying. Let's see. I seem to recall that Eubanks was a bad play last time he was in this. Not a bad play, that he was a good play that didn't work out last time he was in this position. I forget though. Oh, I keep lying. I say I'm done with hockey. Almost done with hockey. I need another 2 minutes. Then we still have some more time to finish off the NBA. And as I alluded to in my sheets the other day, or yesterday was in fact the last, obviously, the last MLB slate. Congratulations to the Braves. Actually, that's good. Keep that. And we'll do one more hockey run here. Here we go. Hockey run DraftKings. Oops. Let's try again. Hockey run DraftKings. Still out of range. It's messing with me here. Okay, let's see. There you go. Not out of range. Oh, sorry, saved it. All right, so let's NHL. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry, this is what I do. Sorry if it's not quite as entertaining, but I got to take care of this. Don't save. Let me show you what I do here. This is my model aggregator. I'll show this to you. I mean, I've those of you have seen this before. So let's run all the NHL models we're running right now for DraftKings. My little macro there, and then we'll run all of them with FanDuel. It just took so much work to develop this. That's why I don't mind showing every once in a while. Okay, so now let's see what we have. So then it all spews out over here as the new. These are the new projections. Let's just check that real quick to make sure I have everybody up. That looks good. So I'm going to upload that to the site. That was DraftKings. It's FanDuel. Good. So now, this is literally behind the scenes stuff. And then what we'll do is we'll upload this. And we use Google Sheets. Probably a better way to do it, but this is how we do it here. Oh wait, hold on. Let's get them into the right folder. We'll upload the 2 hockeys. Boom. Replaced. And we're going to go into the actual TrueDFS, WordPress, whatever. We're going to go into hockey. Just to alert people that it's updated. And I'm doing this before I'm even doing my lineups. So we think about that. Updated. And then we'll go into the Discord. I know a few people wait on that to see when the update comes in. I'll do push another update. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my lineups. So now that I've done that, let me go back into Saber Sim, and we're going to go into DraftKings. Let me see if any pressing questions before I go and do that. Eubanks is starting. Thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't play Thibault. He's going to start and play like a bunch of minutes. I don't think I've ever been to Delaware Park, actually. All right, NHL, let's do this. Thank you very much for that. I do like Svi. I definitely like Svi. So let's rebuild the hockeys one more time. So this is the order. I'm going to do hockey, DraftKings, hockey, FanDuel, then take one more shot of questions, and then it's going to be dinner time. We're not going to take 100% of either Colorado or Toronto. Not Colorado or Edmonton. So I'll probably, I know that's what I'm going to end up having. I'm having some amount of Colorado and Edmonton. So I'll just split it up, I think. Let's just see. I'm just guessing, but so under team stack, yeah, right now I have 80. I'm going to cap it at 60. We'll cap Edmonton at 60. We're getting some St. Louis. All right, that's good. Anything that makes me a little bit different is good. So we'll take some of these, discard some of them, and then over here on the other monitor, I should be able to figure out how to save. I show both my monitors actually. I keep forgetting to do that. I'm going to do that in the restream one of these days. Save. Go back into DraftKings. Where are you? Over here. So upload the new entries into DraftKings. Boom. Now let's go into FanDuel. We're going to rebuild FanDuel. Where was I? Back into FanDuel hockey. 6:53, plenty of time. I mean, not that we're locking here. I'm not pressed for time with my DFS or pressed for time with respect to my my dinner. NHL. FanDuel. Upload. Right from my other folder. Boom. Boom. I like these sliders that I set for today. And hockey, for whatever reason, takes a little bit longer to build, but we got plenty of time. It's 6:54. We'll be done with this within 45 seconds. Upload them within another minute. So it'll be 6:56. I'll be able to come back and take about 2 minutes of questions. Then I'm going to close this and walk out into the kitchen and be early, keeping everybody happy. My daughter's home for the night. My daughter's here. My wife's here. And as I tell my son, major rules of life. Rule 1, keep the ladies happy. And rule 2, if you're thinking of not keeping the ladies happy, see rule 1. You could just live by those 2 things, you're going to be in really, really good shape. 85%, not too much. Let's go to 60. Very nice. Boom. Get these lineups over here. Just making these a little slow. Okay, they're over here. Very nice. Have this over here. Where's FanDuel upcoming? Boom, hockey, CSV. Download. I know I got 65. 65.
Hungry.
65. Save. Boom. Upload. Downloads. Boom. 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 Excellent. Okay, so we should be good to go. We have most of the news that we needed. No big news I see over here. And I answered all my questions. Everybody enjoy, and good luck with golf tomorrow. And I'll see you tomorrow.